Alright, here's some more problems from the final review. Okay, so this is 45 and 46, and these are the function notation problems. They're looking at the f of x. So most students in the class right now, this is near the end of the semester, if you're watching this next semester earlier on, anyway, most students by now have gotten this notation down, the difference between f when the 3 is in parentheses and g of x equals, in other words, you could also write, if you wrote function x here for this example, like this, equal 3, let me just explain the difference this way. It's two different meanings. When the 3 is in the parentheses, that means it's saying 3 equals x. So you are literally replacing this 3 with this x here, because the function or the equation is negative x plus 5, and they're telling you put 3 in for x. This f of x, this notation, can also just be called y, and then it looks like what we've been working with a lot more. We don't work with the function notation that much. Okay, so let's just finish that problem up. If you're plugging in 3 for x, remember, keep the negative, plug 3. So really it's like saying negative 1 times 3, and it helps to think that way, because if you have f, if this were a negative 3 right here, then that would be negative 1 times negative 3, and you would end up with a positive 3. But it's not negative 3, it's just negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3. Alright, that's a mouthful. And now I just have negative 3 plus 5, and that's f of x. And so f of x then equals 2, because you find the difference and take the sign of the larger number. So that's the answer. Now if it were f of x equal 3, we would have to replace the f of x, this thing, let's use a different color, we would replace the f of x with 3. So it would be 3 equals negative x plus 5. And then you would subtract 5 from both sides. You would have a negative 2 equals a negative 1 times x. Divide both sides by negative 1, and everything becomes positive. Negative over negative is positive 2. Negative over negative is positive x. So 2 would equal x if it were written in this way. Now, this example, of course, is written where the function equals 15. It is not written as g is the x is 15. So in this case, g of x equals 15, so we replace this symbol for 15. And that gives us 15 equal to negative 2x minus 1. So then we add 1 to both sides. So that's 16. Now whenever I make a change on an equation, I rewrite what I changed. I changed that to 16. This is still the same, so I write it down. This changed because it went away. That's 0. So now I just have 16 equal negative 2x. 2 is multiplied, the negative 2 is multiplied by the x. So I divide by negative 2 on both sides so that I can keep the x where it is. So let's clean it up. 16 over negative 2 is negative 8, and negative 2 over 2 is 1, so that's x, and in this case x is equal to negative 8. Okay, so just note the different ways it's written. When the 3 is in the parentheses, we replace the x with 3. When it's not in the parentheses, the number is outside, it's g of x equal 15. Then we set the entire equation to 15 and solve for the x.